Hi YouTube. So I'm making this video as a Adobe Fresco what is the word? Tutorial. Like it's a quick tutorial. I want to show or actually record some of the things that I've learned and I do to like make my art faster. And I'm doing this because sometimes like as artists when we step away from our work, we sort of like forget how to do something. So I'm just making sure that I don't forget these like really crucial tips that make my art production very much faster. Okay, so give me a second. Let me set up the camera. Okay, all right. So I know it's a little bit cruel, but we're just gonna get straight to the point. So some of the important things or quick tips that I learned that really help people or help me is selection quickness. So what I mean by this is, like, so say I draw something, right? Say I draw something. And I want to quickly select, right? So what I do to quickly select is this. I use the Lasso tool. And then I close, invert selection, and then I use go back here and do magic. And then it selects everything, right? And then, you know, you get to essentially get to paint inside like that. So that is like a really important trick to learn when it comes to like coloring. The other thing is that helps a lot also is this little button here. See the erase button? You'll erase everything that's outside the lasso. So look. So let me invert it. Let's see. Let's do that, right? And then say that. Close lasso. Erase. You see? So I'll erase everything inside the lasso. Excuse me. And that helps out a lot, especially when you're animating, right? Some other things. So when it comes to coloring, see? When it comes to coloring, you see how sometimes as like when you're animating or when you're making illustrations, you kind of get a little bit confused, like, oh, what should my, you know, core shadow be and what should my halftone be? Basically that just means like my light source color. See, gracias, ma'am. Okay, great. So you're kind of confused, like, you know, what is my core shadow? What is my what's the word? What's my halftone? So basically, like in layman's terms, what's my light source color? What's my shadow color? And so to really make that quick, instead of like scrambling around and like, oh, what color should I pick? Or is this a good color for dark, you know, or for shadow? And you know, you don't really know. You're like, oh, this is a good color for, or is this a good color for light? So what you do instead, right, to get really quick results and just get it done with, and it does have like a really nice look to it, is what you're going to do, at least for the most part, when it comes down to the shadow, you're going to pick overlay, and you're going to pick the same color, and you're going to color. You see how I got a lighter version of it, but it's not muted. It's not it has like, I'm not sure the word for it, but like there's not too much white that it kills the color. So that's how I got a good light color, right? And you know, you're not gonna see it if it changes back to normal. That's why you gotta use overlay. So when it comes to picking a halftone for your illustrations, it's best to use the same color, use overlay, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick the color and then make another layer and then actually use it. And the reason you do this is because when you're animating and you're illustrating, things can get really complicated very quickly, and you don't necessarily want to rely on like gimmicks, because sometimes you want to compress the layers. Like you want to, now this is actually not something that you want to do because it's called destructive editing, but you want to condense it, and if you condense it when it's overlaid, you're not going to get that effect, and I'll show you what I mean, right? So okay, here's where overlay, right? And here's when you merge down. You see how it goes away? That's what you don't want. That's why you have to copy the layer. So, and here is normal. You see, here's normal. Merge down. See, it keeps the color. So that's why you do it that way, right? And that is why it is the easiest version to have a halftone. Right now, when it comes to shadows, or you know, the it's not halftone, it's called what's the word? Dang, I just forgot it. Core shadow. When it comes to core shadow, you're gonna do the same thing. Overlay. You can do overlay, and you're going to choose black, or you could choose a over. You see, and that will give you your shadow. If the color, the thing will overlay with core shadow is sometimes the color will not look good. Sometimes it will be opposite, right? But you got to work with it. And that's the only thing you can really do. Let's take a look at this color selection. Look at that. I would never have guessed that a brighter would make it look darker. So your mind can't necessarily track that, especially if you're a beginner, or you're just a hobbyist. Like I wouldn't say I'm a beginner. I wouldn't even say I'm a hobbyist, but I'm very casual when it comes to my work. And what I mean is, I usually let compulsion guide me. And if I need to study with intellectual concepts, I do so when they're needed, right? And that's just to spare myself from killing myself. So in this case anyway, the overlay with the shadow works. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna make a layer and we're gonna actually color it, right? So that's the normal layer. We got the normal layer. And you see, if we merge it down, it doesn't work. You see, so that's why we don't do that. Again, that's why we have it like that. So we got two tricks already. We got selection tricks, and then we got color tricks. And the last trick is, I don't really use this too much, but it can be useful for you. And that is encompassing like pictures into your library. Like, you see what I have here? Look at this. See that? So if you find yourself, right, using a certain kind of image a lot, maybe like I think it's called a symbol. Like if you have a lot of if you have a specific image you use a lot, like a template, like maybe it's a cartoon head, maybe it's a face or something, you can import it as a symbol and stop yourself from wasting time. Now, the only issue with this is, from what it seems like, it's a vector image. I do not draw, illustrate on raster. Yes, it is easier to draw on raster and you get better results with certain programs, but in my opinion, you can't blow you. It's like, it's so limiting. You know, it's very limiting. And you can use Illustrator to vectorize your images, but then you got to be like jumping up and down, jumping through programs. And to be honest, man, I don't want to be cycling through programs to get my work done. I want my stuff to look consistent, and I want my work to be able to be sold on like shirts and TVs and posters. And so that's the why I do the thing I do. So the last trick, remember, for right now is the library trick. And you're gonna how do you get this? How do you get these symbols and stuff inside your libraries? Well, you're gonna have to have a phone, and you're gonna have to have this program on your cell phone from Adobe that imports it into your library. I don't remember the name of it at the moment, but I'll leave it down on the comments. And the reason I don't know the name at the moment is because I can't open up my phone while I'm recording. Okay, so hopefully that has helped somebody, but most importantly, this is a recording of how my work is done.